How's it going, everyone? This is a video that I've wanted to do for a little bit now, but we were so busy covering everything Black Friday related since we got a lot of coverage out already. There's more to come, don't worry, but I really do want to do this video on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I've talked about this game a little bit over the last while that it's been revealed and announced, and I've been kind of down on it. I think the majority of the gaming community has been kind of down on it, but as we got more information unveiled last week, now I am even more down on it. Now, to give you guys a little bit of a background, Rocksteady, let's be real, they are one of the best studios of the late 2000s until the mid-2010s. Of course, they did the Batman Arkham trilogy, Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, and I remember still being a teenager leading into the release of Batman Arkham Asylum, and in my head, I literally thought, wow, another superhero game that's gonna suck. Now, cut me some slack, I think I was 12 or 13 years old at the time, and we just had gotten like a gluttony of bad superhero games and bad licensed games. I think the one superhero game I enjoyed was like X-Men Origins Wolverine, but I looked at Batman Arkham Asylum and I was thinking, man, this game's gonna suck. Then Batman Arkham Asylum came out and holy hell, it almost changed the narrative of what superhero games could be, and Arkham Asylum set a standard that for me, I had never seen out of a superhero game, and that's coming for somebody that doesn't really care about Batman, at least at the time, didn't really care about Batman, and Arkham Asylum blew me away. And then of course, just 2 years later, we had the release of Arkham City. That game, in my opinion, was better than Arkham Asylum, and then 3.5 years later, we had the release of Batman Arkham Knight. Now, that was probably my least favorite of the 3 Batman Arkham games, but it was still a fantastic game, and I kind of dug the Batmobile sections, which I know a lot of people were kind of down on. I know Arkham Origins exists as well. That was done by WB Montreal, not a part of the Rocksteady Arkham lineup, but to give you guys an idea, over the course of 5.5 to 6 years, they released 3 Batman Arkham titles that I think most people would agree were all excellent. It has been 8.5 years since the release of Arkham Knight. By the time Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League comes out, it would have been 9 years. 9 years since the release of Rocksteady's last game, and it just seems like they've gone completely to the wayside. Now, we saw Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. There was a little bit of a blowback. They delayed the game for a while, and it looked like we were gonna get a total refresh on the game, and I think a lot of people were expecting, okay, this is probably for the best if they go from a ground level and try to change some things up about this game, particularly the live service aspects of the game. And it seems like it is gonna be a title to proceed with a lot of caution and a bit of skepticism. Now, it is coming out in the month of February. Already, that is a loaded time for game releases, and that already puts this game in my opinion, in some trouble, with a little bit of trouble within the hardcore gaming community. Now, also, that time frame, however, it is a lot of focus on Japanese titles. You look at it, you're talking about titles like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, you're talking about titles like Tekken 8, Persona 3 Reload, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I think all of those come out in the same week alongside Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So if you're not a fan of Japanese games, yes, this is gonna be a title that probably is gonna, you know, have your interest a little bit, but at the same time, it is coming out during that busy period, and I imagine some people are going to be pulled in other directions. Now, let's talk about the game itself with the new reveal, and particularly, the Standard and Deluxe Edition is what really already paints this game in a way that I am going to be very skeptical of. And we also have to look at Warner Brothers' comments, which we'll get to in a second, about the totality of their ideas when it comes to releasing games. So the Standard Edition, this is going to be a $70 game. This isn't anything new. This is a WB title, and Warner Brothers is moving on to the $70 price point. They note the main game features Rocksteady's world-class narrative storytelling and open-world mayhem, along with the captivating action shooter experience. Post-launch seasonal updates and earnable characters to expand the story with new missions, items, and more available at no additional cost. So hey, at least we're gonna get that. Post-launch seasonal updates and new characters and everything like that, expanding the story with no additional cost. That's exciting. Access to all free seasonal battle pass tiers as each becomes available, 4 classic outlets, for 1 for each squad member, pre-order bonus available, and 4 rogue outfits, 1 for each squad member. That's a PlayStation 5 digital pre-order bonus only. The real skepticism comes from the Deluxe Edition. All Standard Edition content and pre-order bonuses, 4 Justice League outfits, 1 for each squad member, 3 Black Mask themed Notorious weapons, 4 Squad Gold themed weapon dolls, 1 for each squad member, 1 premium battle pass token, and 4 no shade outfit, 1 variant for each squad member, and up to 72 hours of early access to the game prior to the main launch on February 2nd. Based on the dialogue that is put here, I'm still led to believe that this game is going to be heavy on the microtransactions and the live service aspects to the game, and that's just a bummer because we've waited almost 9 years for Rocksteady to put out a new game since the Batman Arkham trilogy, and those games were received so incredibly well that for 9 years, the wait, and I understand game development is taking longer and longer, but 9 years have gone by, and what we're pivoting, one of the most revered studios in all of gaming, is something that looks to be more live service focused, which is just completely upsetting. And also, on top of that, the game is doing the early access launch gimmick. I'm not even gonna hate on that as much as I typically do because this just seems to be accepted in all of gaming. Look, Lies of P did it, and Lies of P was revered as one of the best games of 2023. So, like, more and more games are gonna do it. It also does note, jumping into the Digital Deluxe Edition unleashes even more mayhem, and Battle Pass token redeemable for premium Battle Pass access. Season 1 to 4 Battle Passes subject to availability. 1 Battle Pass available per season. WB Games may modify or discontinue online service with reasonable notice at any time. So they're already telling you, yo, like, we know that these games all don't work out. Like, so if we shut it down, like, it is what it is. And that is something that generally happens pretty regularly when it comes to these live service focused titles. It does seem like maybe they took a shift away from it to try to not go too in-depth in the live service. However, I also offer you this, a statement from WB CEO David Zaslav, who I have heard, like, a lot of people are not a big fan of him. I'm not too familiar with the ins and outs of everything he does, but he did note in a statement, ultimately, we want to drive engagement and monetization of longer cycles and at higher levels. We have put specific capabilities. We are currently under scale and see significant opportunity to generate greater post-purchase revenue. To put it as if you were 5 years old so everybody can understand, which is not too difficult to understand, they want to monetize these games for a longer period of time, hence make them live service, hence get you to buy DLC, microtransactions, everything like that. That is coming from the higher up. David Zaslav is saying that, so this isn't, like, when it comes to stuff like this, it's not Rocksteady, the development studio, being like, oh, we need to do a lot of live service implementation in our games. I'm sure if you talk to the developers and the teams at Rocksteady, they probably would have liked to create something akin to what was revered really well in Batman Arkham. They probably don't want to shift. That's my speculation. I don't know for a fact. Maybe a lot of them are super excited for this new direction that Rocksteady is going with a focus on live service. But to me, this is taking one of the best studios in the world, at least they were one of the best studios when you're MIA for like 9 years or 8 years or however long. You know, that does put that into question, and it really reminds me a lot of what's going on with BioWare right now as well. Hopefully they both get back on track, and BioWare is trying to do something compelling. With Dragon Age 4, I'm not a big fan of them teasing Mass Effect 10 years out, but, you know, that is what it is. And at the end of the day, I hope this game turns out well. I hope the microtransaction elements are, you know, not overwhelming in the sense that they're really breaking game. But we've seen it, like, the Assassin's Creed titles, obviously I talked about that ad nauseum. Marvel's Avengers talked about that ad nauseum, and so on and so forth. That a studio as high level as Rocksteady, and again, you just saw what they did in the span of 6 years with the Arkham trilogy, and it's been 8.5, 9 years by the time Suicide Squad comes out, and this is what Rocksteady is putting out. 1.5 the amount of time that we got the entire Arkham trilogy, and I get it, the world went to hell for a while, etc., but in all that time, what Rocksteady is going to put out, again, one of the best studios at one point, and maybe they'll continue to be, maybe this game will be awesome, but for me, I am proceeding with an immense amount of skepticism now, and that is a little bit disappointing. Hopefully, you know, for most of you, it'll be a case of worst case scenario, you've got 80 other games to play around that time, so it's not a big deal. But best case scenario, the game actually turns out well, the live service elements aren't that egregious, and that is what I have my fingers crossed for. But, you know, with gaming these days, it's a little hard to be optimistic. That's why I always proceed with a little bit of pessimism. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Am I being a little bit too harsh on the game? Interested to hear your guys' takes, but sound off down below in the comments. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.